So we took a tour of our R&D lab. We're now back in the office, and I think it's time to get deeper and dive into the Woodskin offer and our solutions. So being said that Woodskin is definitely more a process and a technology rather than a product, the limits are therefore only your imagination. But we decided to create a catalog of solutions to help you navigate through the possible applications. So let's get started from the mesh sheets. The mesh sheets are the most natural result of the Woodskin technology applied to materials. So the mesh sheets are a repeated pattern, regular and non-regular, that can be developed and designed in all our wide range of materials. And those are materials that are currently on the market. So even if there is different finishes you're working with already in your projects, you can think to Woodskinize those finishes and create new, unseen, and very unique three-dimensional surfaces. So we're talking about aluminum, we're talking about wood, laminates, different type of sound absorbing materials, and so on. But let me tell you a little bit more of how it works. Here we are on woodskin.com. The banner up here is just to tell you that we're all safe, in good spirit, and 100% operational. By scrolling down, we will run into our main product selector, and we click on the mesh sheets. This is the design page. Here we can see the 4 different families of patterns we offer: classic, digital, and decor, for example, and each of them has different designs. This is our reference page. This is where you can find couple build projects in the mesh sheets, and I want to show you a couple of iconic ones. So let's take a look at this large ceiling. It is made from more than 300 sheets of Woodskin, but it still looks like one continuous surface, where we have also subtracted different polygons in order to leave space for additional hardware to be put in place, such as lights, air conditioning, projectors, and so on. So we do intend Woodskin as a platform for technological implementation, and this is a very important characteristic of our material, because with one solution, you actually get many different performances and results. So in this case, it's important to say how, especially on this type of application, you see how this particular product, the mesh sheet, behaves. So you will not be able to predict exactly where single triangles will be, the exact shape and direction they will get, but you will definitely be able to design and predict the macro behavior of the surface, and therefore the overall shape of the surface while you are designing. The way it works is that we place different cables in the back to hang the surface. This is one of my favorite pictures of this project, because you can very well see the different sheets of material, how they are placed one beside the other, and the scarcity of structure and all the additional hardware that is put in place. Another very interesting project that I want to show you is the Maison Margiela boutique here in Milan. It's still active, and you will be able to see it when you visit. So in one single project, we have been able to conjugate the different characteristics of the material at its best. You have very complex surfaces here where the Woodskin has been designed to wrap the elevator, but you also have a much simpler and relaxed application of the material both on the counter and the floor. Even better though is the comparison between the front and the rear side of the elevator, where we also have modeled the surface in 2 very different ways. Here we have taken in account all the mesh relaxation possibility of the material, even on the software side of the process. Let's take a look now at how the material looks like in the real world. So I want to bring you to our showroom to show you a little bit more. So here we have our showroom sample of the mesh sheet. This is one single panel, and you can already look like how complex and beautiful it looks from the front. This is our classic A signature pattern, and even though it's perceived as one single piece in the front, let's actually take a look how it is in the back, so I can explain you more of how it works. So we're now on the rear side, the back side of our mesh sheet. So we see here how different parts are connected in a very simple way with our wooden flaps, which is nothing else the material itself that is folded 90 degrees and then bolted together with very simple hardware. And you can already perceive how like a very malleable material as the wood skin is, and especially the mesh sheets, becomes very sturdy and rigid here, even though you can very well see how there is no structure whatsoever. So this is one of the biggest advantages of wood skin. What is perceived as a very complex surface in the front, which usually should hide a complex structure in the back, in the wood skin case has nothing except for a few tensioning cables, very simple and very resistant airplane cables that once they're put in tension with little tension already retain the shape and that makes it super solid. So we've seen how with the mesh sheets you can now easily design 3D and complex free-form surfaces. But let's now get to a second solution, our beloved fold panels. So what are the fold panels? The fold panels are the result of specific intention to create something that is great looking and very easy to specify. So the way it works is that we, instead of using repeated patterns like in the mesh sheets, we create different clusters of polygons that once they are attached together, thanks to our flaps, they become a solid object that is easy to install in just one move. But let's get into it. So here we have our fold panel. This is in particular a wooden surface, walnut surface, but you can see how in the upper part there is a felt insert. So if you need a particular material for your project with specific characteristic, like the felt, acoustically speaking, it is always possible to insert. But let's take a look at the back. So, as we said before, the fold panel main characteristic is to be very simple to install. You can see here how it is divided, in particular in 6 parts in this design. The parts are kept together by the wooden flaps, so they're numbered, they're easy to install thanks to the instruction that come with the product. The whole shape, the overall shape is kept together by the aluminum frame, which makes the installation very easy. So different applications are possible. Designs are available in different materials. We're actually in the process of releasing more, so please stay tuned. You can see how the application range from standalone applications to complex assembly of different panels, both with different materials and for different part of the project. So we looked at the fold panels, a simple solution with a very wide range of material that is very easy to install. But we still have one thing that I would like to explain today, and is the tailor-made. So the tailor-made solution, as the word might suggest, is both the combination of your creativity and the wood skin technology and the wood skin process. So the way it works is that we work closely with architects all around the world to come up with specific solution for their most audacious designs. For all the surfaces that are not developable, meaning that they cannot be obtained by folding regular flat panels like the mesh sheets, for example, we came up with a family of surfaces that can get any kind of shape. We both received design from architects or helped them along the process to design their ideas. The application for this solution are endless, but I would like to give you a couple examples. Here you can see how a desk becomes a bench and then a wall, all thanks to the digital malleability of wood skin and in particular of the tailor-made surfaces. In this project, we created a very complex surface, which approximates double curvature. A shape like this, for example, does not need a structure as it can be entirely hung from the ceiling. Wood skin, it is also suitable for outdoor applications. In fact, we've partnered up with Arab to engineer our outdoor version and make it very durable and solid. The skin in aluminum here wraps the existing building, growing like a plant and creating a whole new look for this simple architectural volume. Now that I've walked you through the tailor-made, we have a little bit of an overview on our solutions. It is important to say though that every specific characteristic we have seen about our technology applies to all of these solutions. So we produce flat and we ship flat. we came up with different techniques and solutions to install everything very simple and without the bulky structure that a traditional techniques would require. In addition to this, I'm very happy to say that we have finished a couple of years of intense testing, both in terms of fire reaction and especially acoustic. So our products always come with a very thick package of certifications, and I will be very happy to get more into detail of this in the next videos. Of course, you can also talk about this with our reps who are very knowledgeable in this respect. The acoustic version, though, it's something we have recently developed and that we're very proud of. It adds an important layer of performances to what already is a very technical material. Woodskin Acoustic takes advantage of the different characteristics of the material. The 3D shapes, for example, which naturally scatters and diffuse the sound. But also, we have to take into account the membrane behavior, a very unique characteristic of the woodskin that, thanks to its textile core, behaves more like a textile than a stiff material, and therefore it helps absorbing low frequencies in addition to the high ones. Still, the main intervention remains the perforation. Both an aesthetic touch and a functional one, our perforations and related absorbing material in the backside are designed to achieve top performances and can be customized to obtain specific level of absorption and frequencies. So thank you very much for your time. I don't want to keep you here any longer. It has been a pleasure to tell a little bit more about Woodskin. I will take the custom of doing this more often, but please, for any question, write us directly or connect with your local rep. So see you next, and thank you so much.